Okay, Italy has come out with a 7% flat rate tax program. Now, this actually came out several years back, which I'm going to go over with you in detail when it actually started. But I wanted to bring this out to you because there's a lot of people jumping in on this bandwagon, but I want to go through and tell you the pluses and minuses of this before you actually do an international move and get involved with moving to Italy. It might be for you, it might not be for you. It just depends on a lot of different factors. But again, Italy came out with a 7% flat rate tax program, and this 7% flat rate tax program was introduced in the year 2019. So it's been in force several years here. And the big question is this tax like Cyprus, Portugal, and the UK? Now, note it's a little bit different. And these are all countries that are in Europe that I'm talking about. But the program in Italy is a 7% flat tax, and it doesn't have a non-dom type program. It's just you pay that flat tax. And now Cyprus, to give you an example, has a non-dom program where you can literally pay zero income taxes for if you participate in the non-dom program for about 17 years. Portugal has not a non-dom program, but they give you tax exemptions for 10 years in what's called the non-habitual tax regime, which I've had videos on that. To me, it's a ripoff. And most people are not getting the passport because they're having to pass this language test after the 7-year period, and most are not getting that done. The UK has got also a program that is a non-dom program too. It's a 7-year non-dom program, and then it goes into the regular tax system of the UK. Now, again, this one is not a non-dom, and it's 7% flat. Now you might look at this and say, well, that's a pretty low tax. Well, if you're paying millions of dollars a year, or if you're making millions of dollars a year in income, you're going to be paying still a lot of money in taxes, even at 7%. But let's look at the pluses and minuses of it. That is a low tax when you compare it with other places in Europe. But now I just gave you some that you can literally get almost your taxes to zero in the UK and through Cyprus on their non-dom program. Now, also while I'm at it, Ireland also has a non-dom. In fact, it has probably the best non-dom because it doesn't have a termination date on it. Malta also has a non-dom program. So in Ireland, it doesn't have a termination date on their non-dom program. The problem with Ireland is the weather's real bad, if you can deal with that. The other thing too is they had a great investment program to get in that, but they've just discontinued that. I think they're going to be coming out with something else probably pretty soon. I don't think they're going to just let that go because they were getting a lot of money in on that program. But again, let's look at the Italy program, and you can compare it with just what I just mentioned with you, and then make your choices from there. Now, as of May 2023, Italian citizens had visa-free or visa-free on arrival access to 192 countries and territories, ranking the Italian passport third in terms of travel freedom. It's tied with Germany, South Korea, and Spain. So this is a top-notch travel document. You can go to almost any place in the world with this travel document. But there's some big negatives in this, which I'm going to go over with you. And plus, you cannot have lived in Italy in the last 5 years. And you can only use this program for 9 years. After 9 years, you go into the regular tax program that Italy has, which is high, which I'm going to go over the tax rates with you. Also, folks, if you want to legally get around high income taxes and how to get a second passport as quick as 45 days, do 3 things. Hit the subscribe button to the right of your screen right here, and you get new videos automatically as they come out. And number 2 is I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, put it below. Number 3 is go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and just ask for some help. Okay, now the income tax is high in Italy. You're looking at the standard rates of income tax range from 23% to 43%. Now, there's a corporate tax on companies that are taxed on their profits at a rate of 24%. Now, there is an inheritance tax, and they have inheritance tax allowances that range anywhere from 0 up to 1 million euros, but that ranges anywhere from 4 to 8%. Now, you have to be a foreigner, again, to qualify for this 7% flat tax program. You also have to have lived in a town, a small town in Italy that doesn't have any more than 10,000 population. Now, this is a pretty big disadvantage because a lot of people think of Italy, oh, Milan, Venice. This program doesn't work there. Okay, you've got to be in a small town to be able to do this. And they also have another allowance if you're in the places that had heavy earthquakes, even a smaller populated area. Now, if you're a citizen of the EU, you can apply for the citizenship after 4 years of residency. But again, you're going to have to pass an Italian. This is probably the biggest disadvantage. You're going to have to pass an Italian efficiency test, a language test to get the citizenship and passport. You're not going to get by with that, okay? And I will tell you something. If you're like me and you don't like learning a different language, and if you're a business person and you're very busy making money, okay, and you might want to think twice about this because this will disrupt that greatly because everything you do, you're going to have to get people to repeat the question. You're going to be stumbling trying to get anybody that can speak English. I'll tell you something. This is probably the biggest disadvantage along with the high taxes. So you're going to have to think about this before you go, okay? Why? My whole thing is, why would someone go in this type program when you can go to Cyprus that doesn't have quite as good a visa-free travel, but it's still real good, okay? It's almost 190 countries, so you can go to visa-free or visa-free on arrival. That doesn't have a language test. It's an English-speaking country that you don't have to pay any income taxes if you use a non-dom status and you're careful about how you're doing it for 17 years and not the time period that you've got here in Italy, which is a lot shorter. Now, Cyprus to me is a lot better pick. Okay, Ireland's even better because it doesn't have a termination date on their non-dom program. But again, Ireland, the only program they've got right now in force is their STEP program, which basically you're going to have to hire a lot of people. And if you're not in that situation, if you're looking to basically retire there or set up a small business, we don't need to hire a bunch of people. That program probably is not going to be for you. But you need to be patient because I think Ireland will come out with another program. They just ditched their investment program, but I think they'll be coming out with something soon, okay? My whole opinion, in myself, I would never participate in this program. So if you're thinking about going in this, there are a lot better options, especially if you're an English speaker. If you're watching this video, you're an English speaker, okay? But you have to spend at least 6 months and 1 day each year to qualify for this program. It's not like getting a residency and you're taking off and leaving, okay? You're going to have to qualify each year to apply for the citizenship. And if you miss a year and you don't spend at least 6 months and 1 day, you're going to have to make it up for another year, okay? And there is another option too, is if you have Italian ancestry, you can apply for citizenship after 3 years of residency, and we can help you on that also. Now, I always tell people this is something you ought to look at, okay? When you're looking at all the programs that are offered in the world, okay? Does the country that you're looking at right now allow citizens of their country to get into certain business opportunities, okay? In other words, Italy, I guarantee you, they're going to have certain businesses that if you move there, okay, they're probably going to bar you out of certain business opportunities unless you have citizenship there. If you're a U.S. citizen, again, it's going to take you 10 years before you can apply, okay? Now, if you're from an EU citizen, I gave you the time period on that. So you're going to have to look at that, and is that going to keep you from working your business? Another thing you need to look at is remember that a good fast-track citizenship program has the following traits, and you don't want to bypass these when you're looking for and trying to make a decision. That is, get a citizenship program that you know you can get as long as you don't have any civil or criminal problems. A lot of residency by investment programs don't go by the statutory time period after the minimum residency requirements have been made, therefore messing up your plans for a passport in a reasonable period of time. Now, give you an example. By getting a St. Kitts passport, okay, you can get this in 45 to 60 days, okay? You don't have to wait 10 years. And there's no income tax, no capital gains tax, no estate tax, no inheritance tax. beautiful weather all year round, English speaking. Man, to me, it's a no-brainer. And you know, the thing is, St. Kitts allows you to have multiple passports, and it does have a very good visa-free program with 162 countries, visa-free or visa-free on arrival that you can go to. Also, folks, make sure that the country that you're applying for has no military requirements to get that passport. St. Kitts doesn't have that, okay? So, you know, that's the problem with the U.S. and many other countries. Even Cyprus has that on your children, okay? And another thing you want to make sure that you look at is make sure that the tax system that's in place for that country is either territorial or has a pure tax haven. That way you can literally get your taxes to zero. My whole thing is, why go to Italy when there's tons of countries in the world that are territorial, that's territorial tax system, which means that if you make your money outside the country, you don't have to pay a dime in taxes, or a pure tax haven where you can make money inside the country and still pay no income tax. Why go for a country like Italy that's going to suck you in a huge tax trap with brackets over 40% when you don't have to do it? To me, it doesn't make sense. But people still do it, and they look back and go, damn, why in the hell did I do that? And this is why I'm doing the video, okay? To tell you, don't do it, okay? And another option, too, that you need to look for is make sure that the language requirement that you've got, that you're fluent in that language already. Otherwise, you're going to waste tons of time, folks. If you can't speak Italian, don't go with it. I would tell you that, okay? Another thing you need to look at is always verify that they offer dual citizenship, that's allowed. Now, Italy does offer dual citizenship. You can get other passports on top of the Italian passport. If you already got a passport, you don't have to relinquish that one to get the Italian passport. And St. Kitts is the same way. Now, you also want to make sure that if you get in a passport, you want to get in as many visa-free countries as you can go to. Now, I personally have a St. Kitts passport. Never had a problem getting into another country because, except for Thailand, that's the only one I had problems with because the visa-free is so good with a St. Kitts passport. You got 162 countries visa-free or visa-free on arrival that you can go to. But remember that a lot of countries reserve their most lucrative business opportunities like insurance, real estate, retail, and other business opportunities for people that have citizenships. If you don't have citizenship and you're going to Italy or any other country, and you're waiting for that passport to come in before you do that business, man, you can wait for years and years and years. And then they might not give you the passport, okay? That passport's not guaranteed after that residency period. It just gives you the right to apply. That's it, okay? And also, when you move to a new country and you don't know the language, folks, it's going to take you 3 times longer to get everything done because you're spending so much time trying to learn that other language. If you want to learn more on how to legally try to get your income taxes to zero, or how to get a second passport as quick as 45 days, do 3 things. Hit the subscribe button on the right of your screen right here, and you get new videos automatically as they come out. And number 2 is I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, put it below. And again, folks, go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and just ask for some help. And I look forward to talking to you on the next video. Take care.